Hi folks, and welcome back. I'm in deepest, darkest Suffolk this week on an old World War II airfield. This was an American heavy bomber base during the war, and this is one of the accommodation and communal sites set in the woods here. These woods weren't here during the war. They've grown up since, but this place is massive. I've got permission to have an explore and to spend the night here tonight, which I'm really looking forward to. So I've just been having a bit of an explore. I've just dumped my bags off by one of the blast shelters over there in the woods. I'm at a big open area of the site here, and during the war there used to be a theatre and a chapel here. Sadly the buildings are no longer here. They were demolished after the war, but the concrete pads that they sat on, the foundations, they remain, and they are massive. You know, this is like the size of a football pitch. It's huge. Hard to imagine buildings that size sat here. There are a few bits and pieces hidden away in the woods around here. A couple of small buildings. I just went and had a look in one. I think it was an old generator hut. No roof on it, but the walls are still there. And then scattered around the site are the old blast shelters. During the war there would have been loads of Nissen huts and concrete accommodation blocks scattered about this site, and in amongst them would have been these shelters. So if the airfield was under attack, people could run and get into them. They didn't have a roof on them. They were literally just to stop you, being injured by flying debris. And they're all still here. You know, the buildings are gone, but those remain. They're just a brick structure with two doorways and a kind of central divider, and air crew and ground crew could shelter in them. I'm going to continue having an explore around. There's some bits of brickwork that I can see dotted about. I'm going to go and check those out and see what we can find. I can't believe how much concrete there is still here. You know, you walk amongst these trees and you kick your feet and you assume there'll be mud underneath the leaves, but it's concrete. There must have just been loads of huts and buildings here. Yeah, I think I found the old sewage area. There are a whole load of manholes down at the bottom end of this site. All the ironworks have gone, so they're just open, but they look to me like inspection covers for a sewage treatment, like a septic tank or something, big one, with the number of people who would have been here during the war, and loads of these blast shelters. I've counted 7, but I dare say there are more. Some of the undergrowth around here is so thick you can't actually see into them. There could be more in amongst the brambles. This one I found here is quite a nice one. There are a couple of trees growing up through it, but you get a good sense of what it looked like. Yeah, you could imagine an air raid siren going off and everybody bundling into these. There's an entrance on both sides, and then a dividing blast wall, so that any debris that was thrown in through the doorway wouldn't hit people on the other side. It would kind of hit that dividing wall and protect people. Really excited. I've just come over to the edge of the site and I found an air raid shelter. This is different to the blast shelters in that it's got a roof. You climb down into it, then it's got a ventilation shaft at the other end. I'm going to go down and take a look inside. Wow. Well, that was a fantastic find. Great that it's still intact and in reasonably good condition. Yeah, there was a bit of rubbish in there, but that's to be expected, really. You know, these places are often used as stores and rubbish tips, and that's had 80 years of life after it served its purpose as an air raid shelter. Yeah, but really cool. I'm gonna carry on having a little look around with an eye to finding somewhere to sleep tonight. I'm not going to sleep in there. You know, there's too much rubbish in there. I don't want to have to empty it out. Yeah, I'll find somewhere that's a bit clearer. Oh wow! Another cool relic from its wartime history. This is the original fire pit, not used to have a fire in, but it was used for storing water. That would have been filled up to the brim with water so that they had a means of putting out fires on this site. And they obviously built it well because it's still holding water. I was just walking back to get my gear when I spotted an object in the undergrowth, and it looks to me to be a fuel tank. I don't know whether it's wartime, but I can't imagine why it would be here otherwise. It looks to be a sort of long-range fuel tank, the type that would be slung underneath an aircraft to extend its range. It seems to be made of fiberglass, and it's got some mountings on the top and an electrical connection, and where the fuel line would attach to. I think I found where I'm going to spend the night. It's in one of the blast shelters, the clearest one that I found. There's plenty of space for me to sleep up one end, and to have an area where I can sit and cook and things up in the other end. We're due for a bit of rain this evening, so I'm going to set a tarp up over the end where I'm going to be cooking and things this evening. I've brought my swag with me, which is waterproof, so I'll just set that up at the other end. It doesn't matter if it rains and that gets wet, that's fine. I'll be dry inside there. But just for enjoying the evening, a dry place to sit would be nice. Well, I'm pretty much set up. I've got my swag set up down the other end there. It was a bit tight because there's a tree growing up through the base of this shelter. I don't know how it's managed that, but it has. But I've managed to tie off the back end of the swag to that tree, and then the tie out on the front, the guy line on the front, I've just wrapped around the brickwork, and then wedged a stick into a crack and just tied the guy line off to that, and that's holding it up in shape. And then down in this end, I've got a little area where I can relax this evening and cook and things like that. I've set the tarp up just so that I've got a big open front that'll allow any smoke from cooking to get out and still give me a nice view of the trees and things, a bit of airflow, and give me a bit of head height, because these shelters aren't particularly deep. You know, they're only kind of like waist height really. Yeah, that just gives me that bit of head height. I'm not going to have a fire on the ground. I've bought a twig stove. I've bought the hive extension for my honey stove, and I'll cook on that this evening. That'll be just the job. Yeah. So I think my last little task is to just go and gather up a bit of firewood, just twigs for the twig stove. So I'll go and do that while I've still got a bit of light. It's gone 4 o'clock, about 4:15. So yeah, I'm rapidly losing the light this time of year. Yeah, the days have well and truly drawn in, and it's pretty much dark by 4:30 really. There we go, that's all nice and cosy. I've got my lantern lit there. There's my chair. And then the top of the wall here is making quite a handy little shelf where I can keep all my bits and bobs. And then down here we've got the sleeping accommodation. So this is an Australian style swag made by Outhouse. This is the Rockhampton. Absolutely brilliant bit of kit. Guaranteed good night's sleep in this. It comes with a thick foam mattress. That's just in there. You know, you wrap it away with the mattress in there. I've got a pillow bag here, which I'll put my coat in later on, and that'll become my pillow. It's all nice and soft and fleecy. And then for insulation, I've got a merino wool blanket here. This is also by Outhouse. These things are great, really nice and toasty and warm. And then over the top of that, I've got a new blanket by East Hills Outdoors. This is a down blanket, and it kind of poppers together, so you can use it kind of like a sleeping bag, or you can use it as a hammock top quilt. It's got a draw cord at one end. Yeah, it seems a pretty good bit of kit. It's really a kind of summer weight. The stitching is sewn right the way through both layers, so you do get that kind of, you know, trapping there, rather than having a baffle to keep it all away. So I'd say it's a sort of summer weight, but I think that with my merino blanket should keep me plenty warm enough tonight. It is a mild night, and I'm in this swag, and the swag traps the air in really well, being sort of thick canvas. I've got the stove lit, just using a wood wool bundle, and I'm going to get some dinner on. I'm trying out a prototype dehydrated meal from the One Food Company. They make sauces. I've had some of their sauces before, just delicious kind of fruity hot sauces. And Ben got in touch and asked if I would just trial one, see what I think. It's basically a rice-based meal. Comes vacuum packed like this, and there's rice, there's a load of spices and herbs, there's a couple of dried sausages, and there are some dried apricots. You cook the rice up first and then add all the other ingredients. Takes about 10 minutes, something like that, to cook. And yeah, really looking forward to it. If their sauces are anything to go by, this will be absolutely stonking. So yeah, that's what I'm having for my tea. And I've got a couple of nice beers with me to have with it. Yeah, one I've not tried before, so I'm looking forward to that as well. We've got a boil. Just tip the rice in. One of the ingredients in here is sausage, so I'm just going to slice that sausage up. Didn't say to on the front, but it makes sense to have it sliced in little rounds, I think. So I'm going to just slice that up on my spatula here. Just sort of chunk it up, really. Chuck the sausage in. And the spice mix. And the fruit. Give that a little stir. Oh, that's smelling good. Time to open a beer, I think. Brewdog Mr. President. Oh yes. Well, it looks like a good sized portion. There's some of that sausage, look, and some of the dried fruit there, look, all kind of come back alive. Smells amazing. Let's give it a whirl. Oh wow. That's got some flavour. That is top drawer. Vocation Imperial Banana. I do like a stout. Oh. Yeah, that banana hits you, that's for sure. Lovely. $11.4. It's been a nice evening, just sitting here by this small fire. You know, it's been enough, even though it's only in a small stove. You know, it's creating enough heat to keep me quite warm. I'm only wearing a thin fleece and a t-shirt, and we're in the middle of November, but I've been warm enough and comfortable enough. Helped, I'm sure, by a couple of very strong beers. Do feel half cut. No, it's been nice. Good food, yeah, lovely, and yeah, quite weird to think that I'm sat in a shelter, you know, feet away from where a lot of people used to live for a very short period in the 1940s during World War II. You know, East Anglia doubled in size, in population, during the war, with you know, all the airfields that cropped up, and the American airmen that came over to help us during those dark few years. Yeah, and they lived around here. There were thousands of them. You know, there were probably hundreds that lived just on this base here. And you know, God knows how many of them were here one day, got in their planes, took off and didn't return. Yeah, it's quite a somber thought. Yeah. But it's been a nice place to spend an evening, for sure. This little shelter has been a good little place to hang out, actually. You know, the wind has been completely cut off because I'm down, I'm behind brick walls, and the earth is banked up around these blast shelters. I've got my tarp overhead. It's raining now. It has been on and off all evening, but I've been quite comfortable. Yeah, warm from my fire, dry, and just nice, sitting enjoying a beer and enjoying a bit of good food. But I'm gonna hit the sack in a minute. I don't know what time it is, but it feels late. So think about winter, isn't it? It gets dark so early. But yeah, it feels late enough, and I'm feeling tired. So I'm probably gonna hit the sack fairly soon. Get a good night's sleep. I'm looking forward to hunkering down in my little canvas bunker and getting a good night's sleep. Yeah, very nice. Good night. I'll see you in the morning. Morning folks, I'm just enjoying my first cup of coffee. I went out this morning and cut some rounds off a branch that had fallen and split them up into small pieces. Everything is soaking wet this morning. It's rained all through the night and there weren't really any dry twigs to be found, so I thought that way at least I can get to the dry wood in the middle of the branch. Yeah, a cup of coffee is going down really well. I slept incredibly well. I went to bed at 9:30 as it turned out last night, not as late as I thought it was, and I went straight to sleep and slept through till 7:30 this morning. Yeah, what's that, 10 hours? Yeah, unbroken sleep. It was lush. That swagger's just so comfortable. Yeah, lovely. Yeah, I'm going to have my cup of coffee and then get some breakfast on. I'm having pancakes this morning, so I bought my little frying pan. Just one of those ready to mix pancake mixes. You know, you get it in a little plastic container, add water, shake it up, and you're good to go. They're very convenient. I know it's single-use plastic, but actually the container is a useful size and shape. So I tend to keep the containers and reuse them for other things at home. Seems appropriate to be eating American style pancakes on an old American World War II airfield. Yeah, I'm going to get these finished up, and then I'm going to need to start thinking about packing away. Yeah, at least I haven't got a fire to put out as such. I'll just let the stove burn out until it's cool enough to handle, and I can just tip the ashes out and just snap them into the ground. That'll be fine. Yeah, it's been a really cool little spot here, an exciting place to explore. Never really knowing what you're going to stumble across in the forest. Yeah, shame no more of the buildings survived, but that's often the case. These airfields were dismantled after the war. People bought up the huts and things, and a lot of them are, still in use on farms dotted about the place. The old Nissen huts and things used as sheds and chicken huts and all sorts. But it's good that these old brick structures are still here, and that air raid shelter. That place is just amazing, and in reasonably good condition, really, considering it's just sat there in the woods for 80 years. Yeah, cool place. Right, I'm all packed away and ready to go, but before I do, I need to announce the winner from the competition from my last video. That's for the One Tigris Rock Fortress hot tent. So I'm just going to use commentpicker.com. It's just a YouTube comment picker website. Goes through all of the comments for a particular video and picks out a winner, and you could filter out duplicate users and do various things. So I need to put the URL of the video in here. So there's the video. Copy the link. And did that do it? There we go. Right, so that is the video. I'm gonna filter duplicate users and then get the comments. So that's just scrolling through at the moment. There are quite a few of them. Apologies for any background noise you might hear. There's a farm close by. They seem to be shoveling some things up with a mechanical machine of some sort. There's a bit of shouting and clattering, so apologies for that. There we go, we've got 4,416 unique comments. Let's see who the winner is. Good luck, everybody. Here we go. Rob Marlowe. His comment is, I'm in. Looks like it'd be a great tent for me and the doggos. I could do with a bit more space than I get in my Polish Lavu, especially in wet, muddy conditions. Well done, Rob. Drop me a message. My contact details are down below the video. Yeah, email is probably best, and you can get your address to me, and I'll get that posted off as soon as. Congratulations, Rob, and thank you to One Tigress and to everybody who entered the competition. I'm going to get myself off home so that I can get all of this sopping wet kit dry. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.